Welcome to another episode of The Wealth Effect, where we break down money, life, and why most of us don't have YouTube Premium. I'm your host, Green Moon, and today we're talking about something that could save your financial life. It's called financial literacy, and why you've probably been doing it wrong this whole time. We're diving into one of the most valuable yet neglected subjects in our life, financial literacy. It's been said money isn't everything, but let me tell you something. When you don't have it, it affects everything in your life. It's wild. We go through school learning things like mitochondria being the powerhouse of the cell, but no one ever bothers to tell us how to do our taxes or why getting a payday loan is probably the worst idea of your life. But don't worry, I'm here to fix that. So get comfy. We're going to go over 5 financial literacy ideas that you should have learned in school. We will touch briefly on each topic, and each topic will get its own in-depth video later. Let's fill your pocket. Understanding money. First things first, what does financial literacy even mean? Simply put it, it's the knowledge and understanding of how money works. Knowing that money is earned, spent, and ideally saved and invested. Financial literacy is important because it empowers you to make informed decisions about your money. And it's never too late to start learning. We all start somewhere. If you don't know what money is or how it works, the public school system failed you. Money isn't just a green piece of paper or colorful if you live outside the US. It's a tool, just like your phone, because if you don't understand money, it will control you instead of the other way around. Most people spend their whole lives working for money, but never learn how to make money work for them. I once heard a great line, if you don't understand money, you'll spend your life working for someone who does. Let that sink in. Look at any wealthy person. You'll notice they all share something in common. They understand money. They study it, and they make conscious choices with it. Now here's the secret. Every person started where you are, broke, confused, and maybe even scared. The difference? They learn the rules of the game, and today you'll get a brief overview of them. Financial literacy is about freedom. Money is a tool, not a trophy. The first thing you need to understand about money is that it's a tool, not a trophy, but based on the way some of you treat it, you think it was a golden ticket to endless happiness and an Instagram-worthy lifestyle. Money is not about buying the latest gadgets or filling your closet with enough designer clothes to make your friends jealous. If you're out there flexing on social media, showing off the latest watch you probably can't afford, you're doing it wrong. Money is supposed to work for you and not the other way around. When money is a trophy, it can lead to stress, competition, and even isolation. You'll start to measure your worth by your balance in your bank account or how many possessions you can show off. And when money is the thing you're chasing, it can leave you feeling empty because money can't give you true fulfillment, no matter how much you collect. The goal is to use money to create something, to create a home, a lifestyle where you can thrive and others as well. Budgeting. Not as horrible as you think. Budgeting is telling your money where to go next. Budgeting is for people who want to stop living paycheck to paycheck and have enough left over to buy something healthier than a burger. Budgeting doesn't mean you can't have fun or buy a $5 coffee now and then. It just means you're not living your life in complete chaos while your bank account side-eyes you. Do you want financial independence? See our Pocket Byte episode on Intro to Financial Independence. You need to know where your money goes. This doesn't mean cutting out all the fun. It's just about prioritizing your expenses so you're not buying the new iPhone every time it drops. Budgeting is the eat your veggies of finance. But here's the thing. If you don't budget, you're just hoping your money magically works out. It won't. Having a budget is basically like having a map for your money. Track your income, track your spending, and make sure your future self doesn't hate you. And no, just looking at your bank account balance doesn't count as budgeting. You wouldn't build a house by just staring at a blueprint, would you? Real budgeting is about setting limits, making priorities, and making sure you're not blowing all of your cash. There are different methods of budgeting, such as zero-based budgeting, where you allocate every dollar to a specific item, the envelope system, where you divide up cash into different envelopes representing different categories of expenses, the 80-20 rule, where you save 20% of your income and use the other 80% for your expenses, the 50-30-20 rule, where 50% of your income goes to needs like rent, food, and bills, 30% of it goes to wants, so anything you want for fun or shopping, 20% for saving and investing, and we will go in depth on each one of these in future episodes. Before you start investing, have a safety net. An emergency fund of 3 to 6 months of expenses can keep you out of debt when life is crumbling. Debt, the invisible hand. Let's talk about the invisible hand that ruins your financial life. Debt. So you've got student loans, credit cards, and maybe that one loan you took out to invest in that MLM scheme some old high school classmate recommended. Debt is the thing that keeps you from moving forward. And by moving forward, I mean buying stuff that actually improves your life, not just junk you think you need because someone on Instagram said so. An important topic of financial literacy is understanding your debt, especially the high interest kind. Debt can keep you wondering and worried about your future if you don't really understand it or any strategies to pay it off as cheaply as possible. There is also good debt, such as mortgages or money borrowed to invest to build wealth long term. But the bad debt is credit card loans, car loans, payday loans, or others. Debt is not your fun money or your ticket to freedom. It's a trap. Check out our Pocket Byte episode on debt. Debt can be a tool or a trap. It all depends on how you use it. Credit cards aren't evil, but paying 5% interest on a $5 chocolate is a terrible idea. Use credit cards responsibly. Pay it off in full every month. Avoid high interest debts. Build your credit score. It can save you thousands on loans and mortgages. How to keep your credit score high. Always pay off your balance. Keep your utilization below 30% of your total credit. Never miss a payment, as that's one of the biggest factors in determining your credit score. Debt doesn't have to ruin your life, but if you ignore it, it'll absolutely ruin everything. Investing. Money that makes money. Let's get to the fun stuff. Investing. You know that thing that you think you can't do because your only experience with stock is buying that one share of Apple a few years ago? Investing is not gambling. It's a long-term game where you make money work for you. The wealthy don't just save, they grow their money. Why should you even bother investing? You could just keep your money in a savings account, right? Well, here's the thing. While saving is important, it doesn't help your money grow at a pace where it will keep up with inflation or your growing lifestyle. You don't just have to throw money at the shiny thing you hear about on the internet. No, you actually need to learn about the stock market, real estate, bonds, and all the boring stuff that will make you rich without having to sell your soul to TikTok. You can't just buy one stock and pray for the best. You need to diversify your portfolio like you diversify your meals. Start small, do your homework, and think long term. You're not getting rich overnight by betting it all on one tech stock because some YouTube guru told you so. Building wealth is not a one-time thing. The last thing for today about financial literacy is that building wealth isn't some magic trick you do on the weekend. It's a process, like a long process. You don't just wake up one day and find $1 million in your bank account because you watched one motivational video. That's not how it works. Building wealth takes discipline, practice, and consistency. That means you have to regularly save and invest. You want to get ahead? Set goals, track progress, and actually follow through. You can't just hope to build wealth. You have to work towards it. Stop thinking about all the get rich quick stuff you see online. Real wealth is built doing a lot of little things right each day. It's about making smart moves over time, not wild impulse decisions every weekend. If you think you're going to get rich by cashing in on one big move, you should be ready to cry yourself to sleep. Understanding financial literacy starts with a shift in mindset. Money is not just something you spend, it's something you use. The financially successful don't just think about what they can buy, they think about what they can build. So here's the recap. Financial literacy is about understanding money, budgeting, avoiding debt, investing, and actually building wealth. It's just not fast, but it works. And it's the only way you're finally going to stop stressing about where your next paycheck is coming from. If you actually want to make it in this world, try learning the basics of financial literacy. It might just change your life, or at least stop you from crying each time you check your bank account. Financial literacy is about understanding that money is a tool and you need to learn to use it at its full capacity. Thanks for tuning in to The Wealth Effect. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and tell your friends. Stay tuned for future episodes where we go in depth on each one of these topics and explore them a bit more.